I think without a doubt here that the success of this offense this year, in my opinion, I think the success of this offense, it's not going to be A.J. Brown or Devontae Smith. It's going to be obviously the versatility that they're going to try to throw at teams this year. And I say this to you too, for Jalen Hurts to continue to develop as a passing quarterback. One of the reasons that Tom Brady, one of the most incredible things that they were able to do for him when he went to Tampa Bay, what was it? They got Leonard Fournette. Last weekend, before we start kicking this thing into high gear, and next week, guess what, folks? Rent's due. Rent's due next week. Okay? Ain't no conversations any longer on what will be. It's going to be a conversation on what's going on right now. Okay? I can't wait for it. By the way, I want to start it out with kind of the same person that I started the show out with yesterday, and that's Miles Sanders. It's good to see he's back on the practice field. It's good to see that Jason Kelce's back on the practice field. Not that we had any doubts that Jason Kelce field. But let me ask you this. How far can this Eagle team go if Miles Sanders is not on the football field? 95% of the year. How do you think the Eagles can go? If this guy is not on the practice field, 95%, how far do you think they really go? Personally, me, I don't think they go very far. I think Boston, I think Gainwell, I think they're fine. I think they're fine changes in how you want to run your backfield. I think Miles Sanders has been saying, how far you can go. I don't know how far you can go if you don't have a healthy Miles Sanders there. Gigi says, of course not. Jalen better turn into – we're going to get to this here, and I want to ask you another question on him. Really go far if you don't have a healthy Miles Sanders, because Gainwell and Boston Scott, in my opinion, you know what they are? They're alternatives to that style of football, and what they do is they give you multiple looks. One guy's a good pass catcher. The other guy's more versatile on the slot. The other guy's more in between the tackles. He's that kind of player. Okay? You tell me. You tell me. Okay? You tell me right now. How far can you think they can go? I think without a doubt here that the success of this offense this year, in my opinion, I think the success of this offense, it's not going to be A.J. Brown or Devontae Smith. It's going to be obviously the versatility that they're going to try to throw at teams this year. And I say this to you too. For Jalen Hurts to continue to develop as a passing quarterback, one of the reasons that Tom Brady, one of the most incredible things that they were able to do for him when he went to Tampa Bay, what was it? They got Leonard Fournette. Leonard Fournette, the year previous when he was in Jacksonville, he had 78 catches. Do you know the one type of player that Tom Brady has never been without is a pass-catching type running back? Sony Michel, those kind of players. If you want to develop your passing game in today's NFL, you have to have a pass-catching running back. Michael, appreciate you coming aboard. Charlie, thank you very much. Miles Sanders, Barry Sanders, Colonel Sanders, doesn't matter. Eagles winning the Super Bowl. Like your attitude. Please hit the like button. Thank you, Rage. Crispy Sills is back. Sorry about that, dog. Hey, sometimes we're a prisoner to the internet, so it's what it is, man. I appreciate everybody hanging tight. I think it clears up here in a second. So thank you guys so much for coming in here with us here. Miles Sanders is going to be the guy in the focal point that we have to watch this year. He's got to be on the field 95% of the season. I think for them to get into that NFC Championship game. I was listening to Seth. I love listening to Seth Joyner today. And Seth kind of hits on pretty much every single thing that I hit on when we're talking about expectations of this Eagle team. Okay? No, Sills is not. Okay, Sills is not pouring on the salt today. Absolutely not. No way. Absolutely. Listen, my opinion, Miles Sanders has to be the centerpiece of this offense because that goes through him. There's no running game, and if the running game is Jalen Hurts, my opinion, you don't have a passing game. All right. Can I ask a fair question about Jalen Hurts today? Just even the biggest diehard guys. Can I ask a question today about him? And I wrote this down here. Do you think the Eagles have evaluated Jalen Hurts more in the offseason than what he's actually done as a player? And what I mean by that is, every time we talk about practice or intangibles or what a good dude he is, what a good community guy he is, how good he looks in an Eagle uniform, how good he looks as part of the organization, haven't we evaluated him more so in what he's done in the offseason? The practicing, the constant posting of all the stats. By the way, this is not on him. This is not so much a rip on him, but we've elevated expectations on off-season stuff. He's never going to be evaluated, friends, on what he does in the offseason. He's going to be evaluated on what he does over these next 18 weeks. All this stuff that you guys are talking to me about with him, because if you're talking to me about giving a guy $40 million off of last year, that ain't it. Jalen Hurts didn't do anything last year to sit here and warrant a $30 million conversation, let alone a $40 million conversation. So where I'm going here is we have elevated our expectations of this guy on what he's done in the offseason. And, I mean, that's not a fair and true evaluation of the player. It's more of an you guys want to give Jalen Hurts a contract because he's a good guy. And because he looks like the part more than what he did a year. That's not a $30 million performance last year. Outside of that season last year and what he did, what has he done for you to have this $40 million conversation? Tell me. I'm interested. Where did this $40 million conversation spark up as? Because of the offseason? Because of what he's done in practice? He hasn't done anything and I'm listening to Seth too say the same thing. It's not just me. I'm asking, I'm like, where did this conversation come up with that he should be in a conversation for a contract extension? Where did that come up as? When did that start? He's in a prove-it year. Eric says practice stats. Where in the world have we started talking about contract extensions for him? After Kyler Murray got paid. So you think what Kyler Murray did last year was on pace with what Jalen Hurts did. And he had DeAndre Hopkins for a good part of the season until he got hurt. That's an interesting conversation. So you think the reason that we're in this position now where we're talking about what we see with the potential of Jalen Hurts is because You're not looking at Lamar. You're not looking at Josh Allen and Joe Burrow. You're looking more at what happened in Arizona to Kyler Murray. Okay. That I can. So you think Kyler Murray's and Jalen Hurts are the same player? You think they're the same player? No, it's not Murray. He played better. I think Murray played better too. Kyler Murray finished top 10 in almost every statistical category last year, other than number one, if I remember correctly, says Rage. I never said he should. Always said 25 to 30 million, never 40 million. Murray can throw. Dan, I just looked up Jimmy G numbers. Did you know he never threw 4,000 yards? Oh, I know. He's 42 and 18. I know. He's 42 and 18. And he's been to 2 of the last 3 NFC championship games. You can't sit here and do this on Jalen. 45 and 18. You can't do this on Jalen. Well, all he has to do is win and he'll get his money. And not apply it to Garoppolo. Garoppolo, okay, is 45 and 18. He's 45 and 18. That's an incredible record. Lamar and Hurts are closer than Murray. Lamar, oh my God. Lamar Jackson and Jalen Hurts are nowhere in the same conversation. Not close. Bigger, stronger, faster, more accurate. Led the NFL in touchdown passes. You think Jalen Hurts leads the NFL in touchdown passes in any year of his career? Do you? I don't. I do not. But where did this – so this conversation is all about stuff that we're talking about, all the good things about the kid. I've never seen an NFL football player get $40 million because he's a good dude. And that's what we're kind of talking about here. We're talking about a guy who you want to pay because he's a good dude. Excuse me on the Sally Jesse Raphael glasses today, man. They're really dumb, so don't kill me. Said it best. This guy got to throw 30 to 35 times. I heard him say that too. A game we need to know. If Jalen Hurts throws the ball, and thank you very much, Flex. If Jalen Hurts throws the ball 35 times a game, they will start 2-4. They will start 2-4. That's not what he is. You're asking a player to do something that's not his skill set. It's never been his skill set. Throwing passes in the Big 12? Really? Try throwing those passes in the SEC. That's why he got his ass sat in the SEC. You see, you can go and play like that in the Big 12 with those wide open barn door lanes for wide receivers to run through. You ain't doing that with those corners in that conference. Gators, Tennessee, Texas A&M. You're not doing that with those guys. Those are the best players in the country playing cornerback. That's why he had his ass sat in Alabama, because he wasn't accurate enough. Big 12, they're wide open. It's a passing league. Those glasses are stupid. No, they are stupid, Kevin. I know they are. Just showing support. It's all good, my friend. Appreciate it. Thank you very much, man. You're awesome, man. Thank you, Seal. I thought Jalen would be good last year, and he wasn't. Steve, I didn't think – here's where – Xander says this. Here's where you guys have to look at where the intangible took over. Can you imagine going to Aaron Rodgers going, I don't want you to throw the ball anymore. I want you to start doing RPOs in our offense. He ain't doing that. Jalen realized that things weren't going well at 2-5 and that they could have sat his ass last year. Nick Sirianni was on the hot seat. They went like this to him. Hey, we got to run the ball. Jalen went, okay, let's do it. And he was the focal point of that. Took the bull by the horns and said, okay, our passing game, maybe we're not as deep. And by the way, I heard something today when Seth was talking about Jonathan Gannon. I would make this point to you. I think the offense last year was more limited than the defense. Don't you agree, guys? The offense last year was more limited. You didn't have playmakers. Devontae Smith was still trying to find himself. Jalen Hurts was learning how to play the position, and you had papier-mâché Miles Sanders. So Jonathan Gannon, he gets the pass because he didn't have a lot of talent on that side of the ball. Well, what the hell do you think that wide receiving core was? An underachieving Jalen Reagor. Your tight end took over for Zach Ertz and started getting better and better. Dallas Goedert got better by the end of the year because he had taken over for Ertz. So he was coming into himself. You got a guy over there in Devontae Smith who Jalen was having trouble finding. You had really nobody else. I think you were more limited on offense. Philly goes, Lamar has never thrown for 3,200 yards in a season. And Jalen Hurts will never be Lamar Jackson. Ever. Dan, if Hurts throws for 3,927 touchdowns like Jimmy and also has 600 rushing yards, that's pretty good. If he does that, GT, he will get his bag of money. And they'll win 13 ball games. That's all the improvement he needs. 3,800, somewhere in that conversation. If he does something like that right there with 600 yards rushing instead of the 900 or 800, whatever it was, GT, absolutely. Absolutely. That team will win a shitload of games as long as the interceptions aren't high. The team is built around Jalen's replacement. Do the math, guys. Maybe. Flex says he wants to be paid like a top 10 quarterback. Flex, remember something. The difference between being paid like a top 10 quarterback and being a top 10 quarterback, the face of that conversation is Dak Prescott. Dak Prescott's not a top 10 quarterback, but he's paid like one. Do you want to be a Dallas Cowboys situation where you're overpaying for your quarterback? Is that what you want to do? Okay. Hurts only needs to improve. Marina, if he improves 10%, they'll win 13 games. But see, here again, back to my conversation, though. You guys are look at the positive conversation I'm talking about, 27 touchdowns and such. This is all because of off-season talk. You cannot actually believe that he could go for 4,000 yards off of last year. How can you say that? Because hey, I'll give you the greatest example of all time. 49ers had a guy named Jim Druckenmiller as a quarterback in San Francisco. And T.O. was on the team. Jim Druckenmiller was a first-round draft choice and a colossal bust. I'm not saying Jalen is. He couldn't find T.O. And they had T.O. on the team. They had Terrell Owens. And they couldn't find him. Just because you have a talented wideout out there doesn't mean you're going to find him. Will the Eagles beat the Lions bad? They better, Gio. They better. Druckenmiller, I know, man. And when I was doing radio in San Francisco, I used to laugh every time I said Jim Druckenmiller. Even when they drafted the dude, I went like this. Who the F is Jim Druckenmiller? I think he was a Virginia Tech guy, if I'm not mistaken. Glasses received by the Joker. Manster, please, man. I know. I think my wife took my glasses. I don't know. Either that or they're playing a game on me. It was a great last name. Caesar says no hate here, but I sense some luck of trust. On Hurts is big time. Hey, so you're gonna trust the pro. Hey, Caesar, you're the first one that has said that. That's pretty good, Caesar. You're trusting the process. You're trusting the process that the Eagles has set up for the kid, and you're going with the process. You're going with the positive vibes of the process. There's nothing wrong with that. If you're coming from that angle, great, I'm with you. Okay? That's a cool thing. But when you start telling me that you're sold on him today, on September 2nd, you got a problem with your reality. But you're doing something that's great. You know what that is? Hey, Sills, guess what? I get it. Lot out there. But I'm trusting the process. I'm going to wait to see how the process plays itself out. Fair enough. Listen, we killed Wentz, and he dragged practice squad wide receivers to the playoffs on his arm. They did in 1 year for Hurts more than what they ever did for Wentz. It's true, Flex. Carson Wentz has never had this type of talent around him. Never had all this talent like this. Carson had Michael Pittman last year, and that was pretty much it. You know, T.Y. Hilton wasn't ever really healthy. Now, to be fair, they did have the running back there, okay? Jonathan Taylor's a hell of a back. At 1,800 yards, bro, you got 1,800 yards and you got a 1,000-yard wideout. Pretty good old line. Your defense is pretty good. That's some components to work with. 27 touchdowns, 7 picks. I've gone over it. Ish said, Sills, Gannon really worries me. By the way, we're going to get into Jonathan Gannon because I heard Seth. I love listening to Seth Joyner. And Xander, I cannot wait to see Mike miss an LED gun and Seth Joyner on that post-game show next Sunday. I cannot wait. I'm tuning in for that thing. I don't tune in for anything. And I'm tuning in for that. It's not true. Actually, I tune into Sports Take. I like it. I think those three dudes do a great job. And Xander runs them around the wheel. Thank you, Rage. What people ignore, this team is stacked. If Hurts is mediocre with the team, is only going to go downhill when he gets paid. And then we have less cap space. I believe they're going to do that. Rage, they're set up for failure and success through Howie Roseman. There is no doubt the superstar in the offseason has not been Jalen Hurts. It's been Howie. It's not been Nick Sirianni. It's not been Jonathan Gannon. It's been Howie and his personnel staff that has been a superstar. Plain and simple. Now, we're getting into game week. Get out of the way, Howie. Howie, get out of the way. There is no place for Howie Roseman now. I don't want to see Howie Roseman's face, and I don't want to hear Howie Roseman's name. His job's done. Don't do harm for the things that you've already accomplished by getting in the way. Because then that's how GMs that's how they end up hurting what they've built. They get in the way. Geo Sills, how do you think the Eagles will win? I think the Eagles are going to try to throw the ball early, and they're going to get in trouble in that Lions game, and they're going to get back to doing what they do. So figure this out. I heard, and Xander, I know you heard this. I heard Barrett Brooks say that, I heard Barrett Brooks go like this. Hey, man, that defensive line for the Eagles is going to kill that offensive line of the Lions. I want to see that because they, according to some, have the third best line. I want to see that. But also vice versa. So what you're going to do is you're going to try throwing the ball, and you're going to be more of a finesse team. So the Eagles want to go to being a finesse team versus a power team. What do you fear more, a power puncher or a finesse puncher? If you got into a fist fight with someone, who are you going to be more afraid of? A guy who can knock you out with one punch? or a guy that's going to sit there and try to like jab with you for 12 rounds. I don't fear the 12-round jabber because that one punch by me, that keeps me in the game. So the Eagles are going to, what Seth said, Seth goes like this. He's got to throw the ball 35 times. So you're going to go from a power team to a jab team. I think you keep your opponent in the game more. Rage. I like this topic. How do you think the Eagles are going to approach teams this year? I like it. I like him, but my expectations are high. Go look at the talent McNabb had to go look at who Wentz had, and we killed them. We're all giving Hurts passes. Flex, thank you. I don't think Jalen's getting a pass. Season hasn't started yet. If you start giving him passes in December, that's a pass. It's September. Nobody's giving Jalen Hurts a pass here. Nobody's giving anybody a pass. You know what I'm saying? All right. I hear my internet is struggling a little bit here. Let's see if we can reconnect here a little bit as well. Do me a favor, guys. Please hit the like button. Keep it here on the National Football Show.